Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of the Off the Dome Show, a show where your boy is now a year older. We're sitting here at 24. I'm kind of, hey, we're not too far removed from 30. So don't rush it. I ain't rushing it for sure. But welcome to the show. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. Got some special news that I can't wait to share with you all during the show today, because the celebration does continue. It does continue on this week's episode of the Off the Dome Show. Thank you all who is able to tune in live. We appreciate you. Those who will be watching after the fact, we appreciate you all the same. Make sure that you like, share, comment, subscribe on all of our platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X. I should have said that first, shouldn't I? Anyway, you name it, we're on it. Check us out. We're doing a lot of great stuff. So without further ado, let's have some fun. Let's dive in. Okay. We got some extensions that were done. Literally, one of them happened in the midst of me doing a promo video for this week's show, which was kind of crazy. But TJ Watt, that's the deal that I'm referring to. Like, literally, as I was recording, I saw that we got the deal done. All right, what kind of timing is that? So we'll dive into Watt's deal and what that means for the Steelers. We'll also discuss Trey Smith and his deal, that his extension he got with the Chiefs. We'll dive into that and just kind of the perspective that's been changed, especially when it comes to the offensive linemen in the NFL, with deals such as this, which is pretty cool. Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner also were signed by the Jets with new deals as well. So we're going to dive into that. Also, as we're going through the show, if y'all have any comments you want to drop during the case of the show, we are more than welcome to dive into whatever that's dive on your mind. So, we'll start with TJ Watt's deal first. When I saw that the deal was done, finally, I thought that this was like kind of like it had to get done. How about that? I feel like for it to go as long as it did without it being done was kind of criminal. I felt like, and honestly, it's kind of weird because hindsight being what it is, they basically said that we are not going to pay Micah. We're going to trade him, and we are going to make more room for a watch to be done. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't hate it. Let me see. It's a 3-year deal for $123 million. That includes a $40 million signing bonus. Which ain't bad. $108 million guaranteed, which ain't cheap. And wow. I didn't realize that they did this, which I think is very smart. So this upcoming season, Watt will have the base salary of $4 million with the signing bonus of $40 million. But you'll also carry the cap hit of $24 million, which I think is justified. I think when we're talking about a guy who is the heart and soul of defense, like I feel like this should have been done a long time ago. I really, whatever amount that he was looking for, you should just give it to him. I'm all for it. That's how good he is. That's how great he's been. And I think that it shows just how committed the Steelers are to him. It was getting a little weird. I will say that. It was getting pretty weird with how long this was going to go. Because when we started hearing potential trade rumors that involved TJ Watt. TJ Watt? Yeah, you're crazy. So I'm glad they got that figured out. Now I think the good news for the Steelers is that this contract taps out at him being 34. So by then, and let's be honest about TJ, he's had a couple seasons where he's missed games due to injury. This is not saying that he's injury prone per se, but he has missed a decent amount of games due to injury, and I don't think that is something to dismiss. So I think the Steelers, I think both parties actually won this. I really do. I think TJ Watt got his money. That is able to stretch. That's able to stretch throughout. And the Steelers, they're not. I mean, by the time he turns 34, 35, like he might be heading into the twilight of his career. Maybe. And who knows? It might be one of those scenarios where they'll give him another contract, and that basically ends his tenure as a Steeler. Who knows? But I think with both parties, I think they did a pretty great job making sure that TJ got his money and that the Steelers didn't shortchange themselves, which is what a lot of franchises have a tendency to do when it comes to their star players looking for money. So that's TJ Watt. Trey Smith. Now, Trey Smith, it's not even crazy enough to say this. I think he is arguably either the second or third best guard in the league. Like, I don't even think that. And I think even that threshold of him being either 3 to 1 is not the problem. I really don't. So, Trey Smith and the Chiefs signed a 4-year, $94 million deal. That included a $17 million signing bonus, which ain't bad. $70 million guaranteed. Wow. So his average salary will be $24 million a year. So what this deal says to me is that the Chiefs do a great job of identifying who matters to them at their core. And I think they would be idiots if they didn't take care of Trey Smith. because the Chiefs' offensive line in totality might be heavily reliant on him this year, with him alongside Creed Humphrey at the center spot. And he has the talent to prove it. He's shown it the past couple of years, which has been very beneficial to the Chiefs being in the conversation for getting to the Super Bowl and winning it during his time there so far. And I do think that the Chiefs had to do themselves a favor by making sure they nipped it in the bud sooner rather than later, because Trey Smith is really good. Yeah, Trey Smith is really, really, really good. And I think that I don't think that this is too crazy of a deal. I think when we're taking into consideration the talent and how old he is, because he's 26 years old now. Like, I don't even think we scratched into his prime years yet. So I think for Trey Smith, I think this deal is fantastic. I think for the Chiefs, I think they did right by making sure they took care of him before it was a little too late. And the deal is not crazy. But I do want to acknowledge that I do think that it's pretty cool that these different positions, mainly on the offensive line, is getting in the conversation of potentially wide receiver money, corner money, pass rush. Now, whether you agree with that or not, I think that's all subjective. Kind of don't blame you either way. But I personally think that it's cool that a position such as an offensive lineman is able to get their just due. Because they're in the trenches a lot. They're in the trenches a lot, and a lot of the times, depending on who it is, they're having to cover up a lot of guys beside them in regards to their mistakes to make sure that the quarterback ain't getting sacked and getting used to the grass as often. And Trey Smith is one of the best guys in the league. So I think this is a great deal. I think his talent warrants it. I think the contract is well deserved. And hey, man, the Chiefs just know how to take care of their people when it's time to take care of them, and that's what separates them from the rest. Honestly, I'm looking at his contract now: $10 million for his base salary, $19 next year, $23. No, I'm sorry. So $20 million next year. Then it jumps up to 23 the following year, and then 23 again. So it's not going to be breaking the bank for Kansas City. But I'm glad. I'm happy for him. He's definitely earned it. He definitely deserves it. And shout out to the Chiefs for getting it done. So I mean, the rich just keeps getting on richer, I guess. You gotta recognize things. So that's as it stands with those two teams. And I think it's been very well documented and very well stated on, from a contract perspective, how beneficial it is for both parties. Now, obviously, Trey Smith, who's 26, and TJ Watt, who's 30, like, we're having different conversations here. Like, when the Chiefs decided to pay him the new contract that he just got. They paid him for not just his production beforehand, but for his prime year. They want to make sure that he's secured for prime years, which is what you're supposed to do. The Steelers, however, they had to make a decision on what kind of direction they're going to go to this year, because you can't trade for DK, get rid of George Pickens, sign Aaron Rodgers, and then trade TJ Watt. On top of that, you already traded Micah. You know what I mean? So what kind of message are you trying to send to your roster this year? I think in the Steelers' way, which, I mean, doesn't, just because that's their way don't mean that it's going to show up that way. What they're trying to say is that, look, we are deciding that we're going to try to be as all in as we possibly can be with the guys that we have in-house and for the guys that we can get out of the house. And if that means that we might have to, do things a little bit different to create that culture for this year in particular, then we'll do it. That was the Steelers, which I don't hate. I actually appreciate teams who take a direction, understand the substance of the direction, and moves forward. I don't hate a franchise. I really do. Then we have the Jets. Now, the Jets decided to take care of Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. Relatively back-to-back. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like Garrett Wilson first? No. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. I got it right. It was Garrett Wilson first, and then it was Sauce. I think I'm getting them mixed up still. Let me see. So we'll start with Garrett Wilson, because Garrett Wilson's actually kind of the tricky conversation when it comes to them. Because out of all the deals that got done, him and Sauce were kind of the question marks. Okay. Now, to Garrett credit, okay, and this is going to be a conversation for someone that I'll dive into. We'll dive into in a second, but he does have this as his talking point in contract, which is, hey, since I've been in the league, my starting quarterbacks have been Mike White and Zach Wilson, yet I find a way to come out with 1,000 yards. Now, the weird thing about that is that, you get 1,000 yards, but like you're barely scraping by. Let's be fair. Barely scraping by. And then on top of that, when the Jets decided to bring in Devontae Adams was number one receiver. It wasn't Garrett Wilson. So at a drop of time, you became wide receiver 2 off of a mid-season signing. Or a mid-season trade, actually. Okay? Which is kind of crazy. Given his contract. So, Wilson, as we all know, 4-year, $130 million with the Jets, with $90 million guaranteed. Okay. that's kind of the part where I'm kind of with you on that. I feel like that's a little bit too rich, if I'm being honest. But see, I understand what the Jets are doing, which I can appreciate. Because what they're saying is, hey, look, at the very least, we may not be sure about Fields, even though we paid him a decent amount of money. We're not too sure about him, but we are sure about these guys. And although we are having a new coach and a new GM, we are going to make sure we take care of you all because we understand how important you guys are to this team. We're going to take care of you. And I appreciate them doing that. I just think Garrett, okay. To put into perspective what Garrett Wilson is going to be making for this upcoming year. So this is why it's iffy for me personally. Okay. Because Garrett Wilson, I don't think anybody is going to deny his talent. I do think that he is a talented receiver. But we're talking about like wide receiver one money. Okay. So these are the list of names that he would be paid. He would be in front of. Okay. No, he's on par with Chase's contract, which I think is crazy. Okay. We have Michael Pittman Jr. All of a sudden, all right. AJ Brown. CeeDee Lamb. Justin Jefferson. And I couldn't even believe I saw this name. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Guys, this right here is where it gets very murky. I'm so serious. Because obviously you're not comparing these contract situation apples to apples. Like, for example, AJ Brown's contract was us giving him an extension, even though we had already paid him, I think, a couple of years ago already. And we wanted to restructure his deal. So the Eagles moved some money. CeeDee Lamb, he just got his deal not too long ago, actually a couple months ago. Okay. And we know how Trey is when it comes to contracts. We'll dive into that. Well, so those guys, all right, apples to apples. We may not want to do that. Justin Jefferson, gang? Really? Justin Jefferson? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Garrett Wilson's getting paid more than these guys. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. I genuinely don't. Now, for the Jets, if you're saying, if you are a Jets fan and your response is, hey, well, what did you want us to do then? I would say you would still pay him, but I'm thinking, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of money per year. $90 million guaranteed on top of that. Like that blew me away. I don't know how much I would. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how much I would have gave him personally. Well, duh, not me. Anyway, but I don't know how much I would pay him personally, given the fact that we did have Zach Wilson and Mike White as his quarterback, and given that he had a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, and he's going to have Justin Fields as his quarterback. Like, you try to factor that in. I just think I do. I really do. And I'm saying that because we're paying money for a guy who, let's be honest, got pushed to a wide receiver 2 role mid-season by Devontae Adams. Now you can say, "Oh well, come on, man. They were doing that because Aaron Rodgers wanted them." Yeah, I know. You don't want somebody all day long. You know how far back he had to go in the offense for Devontae Adams to take that many catches a game. He took that away from Garrett Wilson. Now, I don't think that's by accident. I really don't. Now we'll see this year how it all shapes out, but oh no. I think that this contract is a little bit too rich for me. I really do. And then there's Sauce Park. Oh, Sauce. Damn, he's 24. We're the same age? Yeah, I had to put that out loud. That's kind of crazy. He's 24. Anyways, okay, so he had a deal done recently as well. So Sauce, who got let me make sure I get this correct, because so they both were rookie extensions for both of them. Okay, so a 4-year, $120 million contract with $86 million guaranteed. All right. Now, Sauce is an interesting conversation because last year was a little bit under. I guess a little bit might be a little bit understated. He had an underwhelming year last year, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was officiated. Because what led him to have the All-Pros and what he's had before, a lot of that had to stem with the fact that he's a physical one, where, you know what I'm saying, he gets real aggressive at the line and he gets real aggressive throughout, right? And for this year, for whatever reason, there was a lot of times where refs decided not to put flags on it. Well, this past season, there were flags, tons of flags for him being overly aggressive. And now, from what I've been seeing from Sauce Gardner in interviews and the podcast that he's been doing recently is that the coaches have been getting on his ass. They've been getting on his ass about it. Because look, if you're going to be the top corner, in this league, like everybody's touting you to be, like we gotta crack it out. And so that's what this entire summer has been for him. He has to manage his in regards to his play style. And the tricky thing is that he's not like a Richard Sherman where he's a spectacular per se. I think he's okay at tackling. He's not a solid tackler. And this isn't a Jalen Ramsey issue where it's like, it's not an issue. This isn't like a Jalen Ramsey. God. Where regardless of whether it's zone, man, like he got you covered. It's not one of those cases. So it'll be interesting how Sauce responds after the year that he had last year. And like I said, I don't hate the Jets taking a chance on two guys that they know is very pivotal to what they're trying to build in New York. It's just one of those things where, especially in regards to Garrett Wilson, it's like you gotta see if you're warranting that kind of money. That's the thing. Like, are you warranting that kind of money for real? Yeah, we got to see that. I haven't personally seen that. I think it's fair to say that we haven't really seen that. And if you wanna marry that and tie that to the fact that he's had that quarterback play, I don't blame you. I actually wouldn't go against it, but we gotta see something. And with Sauce, we gotta see about it. Because the thing about these contracts, when these contracts get done, there is a narrative element to it. Okay. For example, Kirk Cousins. When Kirk Cousins signed his deal with the Atlanta Falcons, it was like, okay, well, Falcons felt like, hey, all we need is a quarterback. If we have a solid quarterback, then we're going to find ourselves in the playoffs. And once we get into the playoffs, anything happens. You know, we have an opportunity to win the division with Kirk Cousins. Then he started playing. And did he have some weeks where it was like, oh my God, like Kirk is playing really well? Yes, he did. But as the season went on and there kept being more interceptions thrown or more incompletions thrown, that contract will look progressively worse. So I say that to say, for Sauce Gardner in particular, it is you have to have a bounce back here. You really do. Because if you don't, this contract that you just signed, going to have a lot of people doing this. You don't want that at all. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the case. I do think that he bounces back this year. I don't know if that means that, quarterbacks are going to find themselves picked off a lot of times this year because of it. I don't know. But, I think a bounce back year for Sauce would probably be he improves his tackle. And he finds himself getting at least maybe 4 to 5 picks. 5 or more. Okay. That's it. You know what I mean? Or if he increases the pass deflection, that's enough. That's enough to show that, all right, we got our money's worth. And I think that's fair. I do think that that's fair to put in the eyes of the Jets front office, an organization who is just trying to get it right, trying to get it right with everybody that's in-house. So shout out to Garrett Wilson. Shout out to Sauce Gardner. Y'all got y'all extensions. I know y'all gonna enjoy that little extra payday. Okay, pretty cool, awesome. But then there's some guys that haven't got a deal done yet, and I'm trying to figure out what's the noise about, because as we're sitting here on July 18th, 2025, Micah Parsons still hasn't got a deal done. This whole Bengals situation is so much of a joke that I haven't even considered Trey Hendrickson's deal not being done yet. Okay? And then there's Terry McClaurin. Scary Terry. Washington Commanders wide receiver. What? By the way. He's having a contract dispute. I was talking to my main man, Hunter Grand, Damon Davis, my co-host of the DK and Tree podcast. We've been out for a little while. Trust me. We'll be back. Anyway, we were talking the other day about Terry McClaurin, and he asked me what my thoughts were about it, and I said, I don't get it. I don't understand how franchises who typically are known for dysfunction have someone who maintains consistency regardless of who's at quarterback before Jaden got it. And we're reluctant to give you deal. Because, see, here's the difference between him and Garrett Wilson. To see, no matter what receivers they have brought in Washington, there was never a dispute who wide receiver one was. At all. At all. It was Terry McClaurin. That was it. That's all we knew. And his production has backed it up. You can definitely make the argument that Terry McClaurin was one of the instrumental reasons why the Commanders made the NFC Championship game. Just saying. So, why are we reluctant on getting a deal done with him? Is it his age? Because if that's the case, look, there's plenty of teams in the NFL that would love to take a Terry McClaurin on their roster. I'm just saying. And they'll pay him too. Now, whether they overpay him or not, I don't know. But they'll pay him. Terry McClaurin has been consistent since he's gotten into the league. Mr. Consistent. Regardless of who's been at quarterback, he has been doing a great job. Which is kind of shocking given the team that he plays for. And I'm not saying that as a result, by the way. Let's be real. The Commanders have been a joke as a franchise for a long time now. And Terry McClaurin comes in, and we're like, man, well, so since he's been in the league in 2019, he's had 1 year where he didn't eclipse 1,000 yards receiving. You want to know what year that was? His rookie year. And he still had 7 touchdowns, by the way. Just putting that out there. So, outside of that year, 2020, it was 11-18. 21, it was 10-53. 22, it was 11-91. He barely scraped by in 23. You all know what happened that year. And then he had 1096. He had 87. I just realized something. He had 87 receptions in his second year. Wow. 2020. That's Taylor Heineke. Right? Yeah. That's Taylor Heineke year. Insane. What's up, champ? What's up? Thanks for joining us on the show. So I'm confused on what the reluctancy on giving this man a deal is about. Because even if you were to say, okay, well, he didn't get 1,100 yards this past season, I'm like, yeah, but he also had 13 touchdowns, which was the most he's ever had his entire career. I'm just saying. It just so happened that if you just put a quarterback who is pretty good for him to catch the ball from, he'll be able to score more. Just might. Happened 13 times. So, again, I legitimately wonder what it is. Is it the fact that he's 29? Is it the fact that he's 29? Now, am I saying for Washington to break the bank for him? No, I'm not. But this is what bothers me. You know that you have a contract dispute going on. And no, I do not care about this person's contract. I do not care about this person's contract. Y'all still sign Von Miller in the midst of all this going on. By the way. Okay. What do you think of Barkley and Dillon in the backfield? I like it. Because I think Barkley's going to get more rest this year. But I think even though he can handle a heavy workload as he's shown last year, it's always nice to have someone who can be just as powerful as him, especially on short third down situations. So I still think that Dillon and Barkley as a combination, I think that would be fantastic. I really do. I actually thought that made a whole lot of sense when they picked him up. I was like, okay, all right, cool. Thunder, lightning, I'll take it. Little bit of the best way to put it in perspective. I know it's not really the same thing, but it's kind of the same thing. Think of David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. That's the vibes I'm kind of feeling with Barkley and Dillon in the backfield this year. I do. Which is not a bad thing, by the way. But going back to McClaurin, if your issue is age, I had no problem giving Von Miller a roster spot and giving him a contract coming off the free agency. Von Miller is older than Terry McClaurin, say that much. I mean, if you want to say, oh, well, they play 2 different positions, so I don't even know what. I'm telling you right now, if you remove Terry McClaurin from that Commander's offense, shit. I'll say it again. If you remove Terry McClaurin from the Washington Commanders offense, nothing. I'm serious. There's no way you can tell me otherwise. There's no way you can tell me otherwise. So whatever he's looking for, which now because of Garrett Wilson's deal, I'm pretty sure that's what he's aiming for. Like, hey, you give me that deal, I'm good. You don't have to worry about nothing. I'm good. I'm good to go. I legitimately don't see or understand, let's say, the reluctancy of him not having a deal done. And apparently I'm sticking in the division because Dallas still hasn't taken care of Micah Parsons yet. Huh? Now, okay. They keep saying that, hey, you know what? We're going to get a deal done. Whatever. Okay, cool. Just to put in this perspective of just how crazy stupid this whole situation is. I'm not saying this is Bengals territory, but we're getting relatively close. Okay? Micah Parsons is 26 years old. We're not even completely into his prime years yet. We're not in the prime years of Micah Parsons yet. He is just getting started. And yet, there hasn't been a deal done. Now, it's very easy to pick on somebody when they're down. But the Cowboys kind of did this to themselves, so I'm going to have to do it now. So you did this with Dak, you did this with CeeDee Lamb, and you're doing this with Micah. I don't understand why you think that it wouldn't piss off the player that you are waiting until the very last minute to get a deal done. The very last. When Dak's extension came around, it didn't happen until a week of the. What was it like the same? It was the week or the week before week one. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before. Like, what are we doing? And we're doing it again with Micah. And the thing is, Micah is, and this is not even debate. He's your best player on your team. He is. I know. What about Bland? What about Diggs? Hurt. For one. The other one gets exposed more often than not. DeMarcus Lawrence is not there no more. So he's your best defensive player that you have. He was your best defensive player with all those factors involved anyway. But why are we reluctant to pay him? And this is the thing that bothers me the most. You will be reluctant to pay him, and then when the price continues to raise because all these other deals are getting done, then you proceed to go and have this little mini tantrum where you talk about, well, you know, we paid him X amount of money, so we got to produce. No, y'all kind of did that to y'all. When y'all decided to wait until last minute to give Dak that $60 million extension, y'all did that to yourselves. He don't have to produce shit no more. Y'all put yourselves in that position. Because negotiations were starting, especially with Dak, like literally in March. In March. A deal wasn't done until the week of week one. And that's with your quarterback. Then you did that with your star wide receiver, your best wide receiver, by the way. You did that with him as well. And now you're doing that with your best defensive player in Micah Parsons. I don't understand. All I'm saying is that honestly, I'm at the point now with these franchises where I don't want to hear y'all whining, complaining about contracts when half of y'all are having to cause all these holdouts and having to cause all these dramas because y'all don't want to make the simple decision and pay them when it's time to pay them. If you want to go back and forth on how much they got paid, okay. Let us fans have that debate. Let us fans have that conversation. But for you to hold on to this strategy of we're going to wait until the very last second and then we'll pay, it's kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's crazy. It's crazy as hell. It's crazy as hell. And for those who feel like y'all have to justify Jerry, even Jones, for this kind of behavior, that's why y'all struggle to go deep in the playoffs. This is the stuff that happens. This is the stuff that happens. When AJ Brown and Devontae Smith when they got their contracts redone ahead of time, that was done on purpose. When this offseason, when they did Saquon Barkley's deal again, that was done to avoid this mess ahead of time. This is what good franchises do. This is what great teams do. We're going to beat them to the punch. Take care of them now and get them out the way so you don't have to worry about nothing later on. Especially if they're giving you the production that, hey, like, this is the best that it's ever gotten for this franchise at this position, especially in recent memory. What's wrong for it? So, for Micah and Terry, I know that eventually y'all get y'all money, but the fact that it's gone on as long as it has is kind of it's kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie, it's a little crazy, a little shaky. You know, I don't know. It's making me raise an eyebrow. Like, guys, like, just pay them. I don't understand what the issue is. Just take care of them already, please. We got some special news, but before I dive into that, I got a commercial break for you. We'll be right back.
In 2006, we founded Yeti Coolers with a simple mission: build the cooler we use every day if it existed. One that was built for the serious outdoor enthusiasts rather than for mass discount retailers. One that could take the abuse we knew we'd put it through, out in the field and on the water. One that simply wouldn't break. We decided early on that production innovation would come from necessity and first-hand experience, not from market research and data analysis. Today, Yeti products perform when it matters most. Whether that be an excursion into the remote Alaskan wilderness, chasing redfish on the Gold Coast, or just getting together with friends in the backyard, we make gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder. Hashtag
Welcome back to the Off Show. Hi, everyone. On the one and two. Got some special news for y'all. Okay. Now, I'm gonna try to post this as soon as I can. So, might be a little bit too late, but it is what it is. Whatever. But the title of this episode is "On the Celebration Continues." Last Saturday was my birthday. Okay. So last Saturday was my birthday. Today is Friday Night Smackdown. And it just so happens to be in my city. And it just so happens that a brother has found a way to go. And he's going to be there. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be crazy. So I say that to say, for those that are going to be in attendance for SmackDown tonight, I'll be there. So post this to all your friends, anybody and everybody that's going to be there. I will be there. I'll be. The plan is that obviously I'm there as a fan first. Okay, that's number one. It's a birthday gift. So I'll take it. Okay. But for two, this is an opportunity to have some interaction with the fans. This will be the first time I'll be going to. This will be the first time I'll go to a WWE event by myself. So, kind of crazy to think about that aloud. But I'm very excited. I cannot wait. John Cena is going to be in attendance. Cannot wait to see him and Cody face off. Now, I am not going to lie. I'm going to be real with y'all. I wish that this match was a triple threat with him, with Cena, Rhodes, and Randy Orton. But no. Why? Because we got Jelly Roll and Randy Orton going up against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Which I actually think will be quite entertaining, to be honest with you. But that kind of sucks that we don't have that triple threat main event. That's just me fantasy booking. But anyway, I'm looking forward to what's going to be said tonight between the two. And like I said, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. The plan is that ultimately I will buy something from there to say that I was there. It might be a John Cena towel. Who knows? I don't know what it will be. I don't know what it will be yet. Haven't decided. Haven't figured it out. We'll see once I get in there. But yeah, it's gonna SmackDown's gonna be in San Antonio tonight. I'm excited. Can't wait to enjoy everybody that's in there. And can't wait. I cannot wait. Can't wait to see everybody that is going to be so excited for the show. There's going to be plenty of interviews and a lot of reactionary videos that I'll be doing, that I'll be posting on my Instagram, but also will be on Team NBS Media's pages as well, whether it's through TikTok or Instagram or whatever the platform you may come across. You'll probably see me there acting a fool, being a fool for 2 hours. But I'm very excited. I cannot wait. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Hopefully we get some interviews in, get a chance to meet some great fans, and have some fun with it. Again, like I said, I'm showing up as a fan first. But I'm excited, man. I really am. I'm just, it's one of those things where you may have a lot going on in your personal life, and you're kind of wondering, like, okay, like, do I get a sense of, like, light at the end of the tunnel somewhere? Like, do I get to experience any moment to kind of have a moment of escape, if you will, from what the day-to-day life is. And you always ask that question, you know, when you're working a lot and you have so much going on. And you wonder if you get a chance to, you know, have a little bit of fun. And I'm very grateful to have an opportunity to have fun at this juncture with something that I enjoy, which is watching wrestling. Be able to watch it live is going to be pretty cool. Be able to watch it with a bunch of fans who are very passionate about the product is pretty cool as well. I'm looking forward to that. So this is a PSA. I will be there with my phone. I'm gonna have to find me a mic somewhere. I'm gonna have to find me some mic somewhere ahead of time, but do that and get some interviews going and have some fun, because that's what I'm there to do. That's what we're going to do. It's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. I'm excited. Look forward to having a good time. I really do. I'm either coming away with a shirt or a towel. I'm not sure what I'm feeling yet. I got to see how everything's looking. Because, this is why I say this. Because, okay, John Cena, for those of you that don't know, John Cena is in the midst of his retirement tour. And so, this is the last time he is going to be in San Antonio performing as a wrestler. And I've been fortunate enough to watch John Cena throughout the highlights of his career. I missed the early days of John Cena's career simply because, I don't know, I was 2 and 3. Oops. Yeah, so his early US title run and his early WWE championship runs, like I missed some of that. But the highlights of his career, like I've been fortunate enough to be a part of that, to watch that. So seeing him is gonna be pretty cool. If you are, I will warn who's ever gonna be beside me. I'm going to be cheering regardless of whether they are heels or not. I'm not gonna lie. It's just it's a lot of fun. And like I said, it's the first time in a while. I think the last time I went was actually, it was WrestleMania 38. I went with my older brother. We went to Dallas for night 2, which is kind of crazy because I feel like we should have. A part of me feel like we should have went night 1, because night 1 had the return of Cody Rhodes to the WWE and Seth Rollins. They had that great match. And then you had Steve Austin and Kevin Owens. I thought that was great for what it was. I've always been back and forth for years on what night we should have went to. But obviously, you're not going to pass up seeing Roman. There's not. But yeah, looking forward to Smackdown tonight. Looking forward to the back and forth that will be had between Cody and John, and everything else that's around the show. Hopefully, I get to see Jacob Fatu. Yarami. Okay, you feel me? Yeah, that's how much I enjoy this shit. Yeah, I'm a little crazy for it, but it's all good. But yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody. Hopefully we can get some interviews in, have an opportunity to have y'all meet some passionate fans that love and enjoy this product as much as I do, even with the highs and lows. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm really excited. So So yeah, as soon as I'm out of here, I'm gonna start getting prepped up, getting ready for that. And then the next time you'll see me, I'll be at Prospect Center and getting ready to have ourselves a great time. So I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for it. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. But again, as I said at the beginning of the show, and I'll say it now. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We do this every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, off the Dome Show. It's been a minute since I've done interviews. We're going to start getting back into that pretty soon. We're also going to be cooking up something big for our intro. We're going to have a new intro pretty soon as well. I'm very excited for that. It's gonna have a new outlook for the show, and that's gonna be pretty soon. For my football fans out there, we are getting close and close to football as it possibly can be. Very excited for that. And by the way, let me make sure I let everybody know, because there has been some people that's been asking me about it. And actually just had a recent conversation with the head honcho, if you will, Team NBS Media in Gardner. So shout out to you. The Rankings Roundtable will be back. And it will be back this season. I'm excited for that. It was very well received from last year. A lot of people had a lot of fun. So we're going to bring that back this year for this upcoming NFL season. And like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. I'm excited. So the Rankings Roundtable will be back for the NFL season. And I can't wait to host it. It is legitimately one of the silliest ways to consume NFL, while also being well educated. Okay, even with power rankings being completely insanely crazy from week to week, depending on the guests that show up on the show. So that will be back this year. I'm very excited. Cannot wait for that. Again, I will be at Friday Night Smackdown in San Antonio tonight. So for those of you who are going to be there, or if y'all see me on the camera being a complete fool, yeah, I'm enjoying my birthday. Yeah, okay, I'm enjoying my birthday. So yeah, thank y'all so much. Make sure y'all leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X, you name it. Take a look at our website at teamnbsmedia.com, where we drop a whole lot of content throughout all sports, throughout some of your favorite TV shows, your favorite movies. I've been seeing a couple articles actually on the Superman movie that I've yet to see. So looking at it with a side eye. But yeah, you're missing it if you haven't had a chance to check it out. So thank you all so much for supporting me, seeing me live. I really appreciate it. Tell your friends and family about the show, how crazy the show can be, how fun the show can be. And I'll see you next Friday. Y'all be safe. I love y'all. Stay encouraged. Stay blessed. And see you soon, bud. Oh, and one last thing before we get out of here. My Eagles. See y'all.